Well, hello, my friends. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Real Talk Show with Dr. India White. I am so excited to be here among you guys tonight. Happy New Year! I know all of us have crossed over into 2021. I think that was one of the best experiences I've ever had in my entire life to get out of that interesting year where we have all gone through so much, trying to figure out how to pick up the pieces, dealing with grief, dealing with loss, uncertainty, sickness, just a mess. So I'm so happy that we've crossed over into 2021. I hope you guys are able to take care of yourself. I know I had a little bit of downtime. I was able to go to the beach, spend time with family. And I would encourage that if you have not taken care of yourself or had some downtime, please consider doing something special for yourself. But other than that, already, guys, already in the year 2021, we have been going full speed. Already, we've hit the ground running. We have been running. I still am doing the Real Talk Show, which I'm so blessed that we are going to be aired on the SoulNet WKDH radio station every Monday through Friday from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We also have some other podcasts and talk show stations that we will be airing on, and I will fill you guys in with that information throughout the week and next week. So definitely keep your ears open and hearing all the different updates. So with that said, speaking of running like an Energizer bunny, but being very productive at the same time and making it happen, I am so excited because we have a true rock star on the show tonight, someone that has overcome many different types of obstacles, and no matter what, they tend to just continue to find energy to make it happen and to just do great things. And so with that said, I am just honored to bring on the show today this phenomenal entrepreneur. She's an author, business owner. She has a publishing company. She's a mom. She is raising a family. She's doing a phenomenal job across the board, all the way in New York. I'm going to bring on the stage now, Regina Kenan. Thanks for joining us. How are you? Happy New Year.
I'm awesome. Happy New Year's. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be on your show.
Yes, definitely. I'm so delighted to have you, my friend. So, Regina, some of us don't know who you are. They don't know who this jewel is. So, I would love for you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Where do I start? I'm an author. I'm a speaker. I am a publisher, a funeral planner. Yeah, I said funeral planner.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh man. I'm a mom. I'm a nana. I don't call myself grandmother. I do it all. I'm a network marketer, a business owner. And most importantly, I'm a child of God, and I'm so happy and blessed that He has given me the strength to take on all these responsibilities and be able to maintain them and keep my sanity.
Yes.
I'm a multitasker, but at the same time, being a multitasker, I'm able to achieve, and stay focused and stay consistent with all the things that He blessed me with.
Phenomenal. Now, I've followed your journey for a couple of years, and I must honor you because, guys, when I say there aren't many people that I know like Regina that always has something going on, there's always a book being released, there's always a business being started, there's always an event. It never stops. And I love it. And so it's like that saying, eagle soar alone, and there's so much that you do. And so I would love it if you could just kind of explain to us, how did your journey begin? Your journey of success, if you can go back to that, and how did it lead you to where you are today? And then we'll talk about your book release afterwards.
Actually, I will say how it started was in 2003 when I decided to fulfill my dream of being a fashion designer. I went to fashion design school and graduated. I moved to Buffalo after graduating, started my boutique, and I started doing fashion shows here for people. I even did one for Mercedes-Benz. which was
Oh,
so
wow.
exciting. And it just took off from there. But where it really started was in an unfortunate situation, which was a domestic violence situation. That's
Hmm.
when I decided it's time to soar like an eagle. You know,
Right.
I knew that I needed more, and it was just time for me to actually step out on faith and let God use me.
Right.
And that's what I did. And I think, as crazy as it may sound, if I did not have that experience, I may not have went on that journey. You know,
Wow.
you know how they say you make, what is it, make oranges out of lemons or something like that. You
Yeah.
know, so, and that's what I had to do. You know, I
Wow.
did not wallow in my mess. You know,
Hmm.
so,
That's
yeah.
beautiful. And talking about that, I'm so proud of you for overcoming that. And we can speak on that subject, and I'm so honored that you allowed me to be a part of this book collaboration. And I want to go into that a little bit, but I want to first discuss this with the audience, just so that people don't think that this is a topic that's should remain taboo or something that's rare. Stats show that there are 20 people per minute that are being abused in domestic violence situations in the United States. 20 people. Somebody just got hit, somebody just got slapped, somebody just got spit on or whatever. And I'm not trying to, bring up trigger points here, but it is a reality. And so can you kind of talk to us a little bit about your why behind why you did this, and any advice you would give to women or men that are finding themselves in an unfortunate domestic violence situation?
I think it started with one, the size 14 boot in the neck, and the almost literally taking my last breath. You know, when I was walking around the house the other day, and I'm just thanking God, like, God, thank you, because had you not, matter of fact, it was just yesterday, had I not listened to Him when I was being choked and taking my last breath, and God reminded me yesterday, He said, do you remember when I told you, if you don't use these right here, these nails, because I was wearing nails at the time, if you don't use those nails and put them in his back right now, you're not getting up. You're not getting up. And that's why I always tell God, thank God I know the voice, because had I not listened, and
Mm.
mind you, there was a girlfriend in the closet hiding, too afraid to come out to help me.
Oh my goodness.
But God said, your life does not end here. And that is what saved my life. That's why I'm on your show today, because I listened to God and I used my nails, and that's what got him off of me, because I literally started seeing the light. You know, I was taking my last breath. So I told myself, the only thing you can do from now is praise God till the end, and continue to leave a legacy for your kids, because you almost didn't have one.
Mm.
And I would encourage any
Yeah.
woman, any man, that when you see the first sign, run. And my situation was so unfortunate because it wasn't the one, you know. And I
Yeah.
even found myself in that situation here in Buffalo with, unfortunately, a man of God, you know. So I was
Yeah.
determined. Can't
Now
go down
that
that
part, that part, you mentioned abuse even with the man of God. I think it's very interesting you're saying that, because I think sometimes people think, oh, domestic violence happens when, someone's drinking and smoking and they've just lost control. No, there are people that will beat you down in Jesus' name. So,
literally.
yeah. So talk to us about that. I mean, what do you think drew you to the same, do you think was the same things that drew you to this man of God that also unfortunately kind of took you through some things?
Feeling that I was safe, feeling that this wasn't someone that would abuse me.
Mm.
And it was so crazy because it was only 3 months. It was only 3 months.
Wow.
He literally pulled me out of the comfort of my church and made me feel like all of them were against me. And I could only survive with him. He took my credit cards, he took my cell phone. I had nothing. I had to send my daughter to my sister because I didn't want her to see what I was going through, and I felt like I had no way out. And God sent a guardian angel. You know what they say? He always has a ram in the bush. You know,
Right.
but I really it started so soon, and I asked myself, why did you allow yourself to go through that again? You know, and it's like a repeated cycle. But until you really say, okay, Lord, deliver me,
Mm-hmm.
you don't say that. It's hard. It's hard to come
Yeah.
out of it, you know. And I was at a store one day, and his ex, his child's mom, walked up to my car. I knew her from a friend, but she didn't really know me like that. And she said,
Right.
"You're in a relationship with this guy." And I was like, "Yeah, you know, I got my guard up now because I'm like, why is this lady
Mm-hmm.
coming?" You know. She said, "And he's trying to hurt you, and he will kill you."
Oh my
And I'm
word.
looking at her. She said, "Let me tell you how to get out of it." And I'm feeling some type of way because I'm like, why would she be, you know what I'm saying, doing this? And I knew it was God. She said, "You got to leave, and you got to leave now. And the only way you're going to leave is if you walk away." She said, "But when you walk away, you got to walk away backwards. Don't turn your back to him because if you do, he's going to kill you."
Mm.
And I went home and I got my stuff as much as I could. And I literally backed out the door because I'm like, okay, God sent this lady to me. I'm not going to not listen to her, you know.
Yeah.
I lost a lot of things, but I told my daughter, just act like we had a fire. You know what I'm saying? And lost everything.
Yeah.
Those are material things, and we'll get them again.
Wow. 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 I'm so grateful that you're being open and transparent with your story because there are so many women, even women of God, that are sitting and hiding behind abuse. And they're doing it for ministry's sake, or they're doing it, so that they can save face and save image. But their life is at stake. And we've read, newspaper articles of this person was shot, this person was choked. They talked about how people go numb when they see abuse. And there was one lady who was literally beat to death in a car in a parking lot, and people just walked by. Somebody might have said, "Hey, what are you doing?" But nobody stopped the man. He beat her to death.
Yeah.
And I think that, we've been so polite about this issue and we swept it under the rug. So it's amazing to hear someone like you, so now powerful, beautiful, shining, now to pick yourself back up and soar in spite of what you've gone through. And so I know, Regina, there are women and men that are listening. And they might be saying, "I don't know how to get out of this." And they talk about, research talks about how it takes 7 times for someone to attempt to leave before they finally leave. And so, what advice would you give to others that unfortunately might be in a similar situation like yourself?
The advice that I would give is find your safe haven. And whether that be the church, whether that be a friend or a family member. See, me, I was afraid of what people were going to say about me. I was
Yeah.
embarrassed and I was ashamed. You know, being ashamed and afraid is going to get you killed. You know,
Wow.
fortunate. You just have to say, let your guard up and just say, listen, this is what I'm going through. Even if it's a stranger. You know, they have this thing now where you put the dot in your hand. You walk by somebody, put your dot hand up, they're going to know, you're a domestic violence. You're in a domestic violence situation.
Wow.
They said either in your hand or on your forehead. And you have to alert someone. If you don't do number, call the 911 number. It's anonymous. They're not going to write you out. Find a safe haven because once they do it one time, they're going to do it again. It doesn't stop because it's a
It
sickness,
doesn't.
a mental illness. And, I went through 2 situations where I almost died. But that one, I mean, the last one, literally, I lost my home. I lost everything almost lost my child. And we were in a hotel room and he picked me up like they do down south when they're cooking the hogs. They pick them up by 2 hands, he took me by my hands and my feet and lifted me as high as he could in the air and just dropped me. I thought I was dead. I would say to anybody, run. If you see any signs, because I will tell you, till not long ago, the last relationship, and it was just a friendship. You have this, like, you get the jitters, like, and I had, this guy got up in my face and I jumped. I'm like, I
Mm.
thought I was over this. It's hard to shake off, but if you don't say enough is enough and just throw your hands up and give it to God and let him deliver you, you may not be able to see tomorrow. That's why I tell people don't put up with it like I did. I went through it for 6 years, was the longest one. And as you said about the people walking by, I was drugged down the street and beaten all the way from the store to my house, and people rode by and nobody stopped.
Mm.
Nobody stopped to say, are you okay? All because I took a ride from the landlord to the store, you know what I'm saying, in the rain.
Yeah, that jealousy. Yeah.
Yes, and it's little things, but when you see that first trigger, just go. You got to walk away. There's not that much love in the world. My thing was, he loves me. They don't love
Wow.
you. They're sick, you know.
Yeah.
And
It's
that's
almost like it's that false hope of love. He loves me, and that's why he's overpowering. And that's why he's showing this anger. It's because he really loves me.
yeah.
It's because he's jealous in a good way. And that's never healthy, like, I mean, so I think, and I think maybe women and men in abusive situations might feel like that's what they deserve, or that's accepted, or that's tolerated, that should be tolerated. And so when do you start noticing the signs? Do you notice it when you're dating? Do you notice it when you're already married? When did you start noticing, even in your second relationship, the signs of abuse?
The moment you see him getting jealous, that's your first sign right now, jealousy. That's when you got to say, hey, this is not normal. Especially when they don't even know you that well. That's not normal. That particular man sold my motor vehicle, sold my truck to a lady. I'm gonna tell you this real quick. I was riding down the street one day, and a lady flags me down, and I'm like, I'm looking over like, I don't know who that is. She asked me to pull over, and I was like, okay, Lord, cover me. And I pulled over, and she was like, do you know so and so? And I'm like, yeah. She said, he sold me this truck. I said, excuse me? This is my truck. I have the title to this truck. He had no right to sell you my vehicle. He took advantage of her and her disabled son and sold them my vehicle for her son's disability check.
Oh my word.
They're sick. You have to listen, run and don't look back. Don't go back. But I'll tell you how deep it is. The one from the before the last one, I allowed him to move. I allowed him to come to Buffalo to see me. That's when I knew I was not delivered from it.
Yeah.
I said, Lord, you got to remove this man completely out of my Memorex, because that's how women stay in it, because they make you feel like I love you. I'm sitting in church one day and he sends a message and says, you're gonna be my wife. I went to pray and
Mm.
God delivered.
Yeah.
But that's what they do. They pray when they think you're weak and they feel like you need them. So that's why I said just run. Don't even, when the signs come, that first sign that I didn't see, but I know I went through it because I am to be the voice for other women that's going through it and other men that's going through it. And it's crazy this is going to sound, but I thank God for putting me through it, because I'm able to help other women,
Yeah.
and other young girls and men, because there's no age limit and there's no sex limit. They
Yeah.
prey on anybody
Wow.
because they're
It seems like it's like a focus, an area of focus would be to look into mental health of someone. And I think women, definitely women, because we're more vulnerable, need to study up on different mental health, narcissism,
exactly.
different disorders, bipolar, what are some other mental there's the multiple personality disorder,
Yeah.
different disorders, because depending on those disorders, and then if there are any addictions, like I don't know if your relationships, if there were any addictions, depending on all that, how can really, you know, form a monster there, and that controlling spirit, like just always having to have control. And I mean, those are things that women need to kind of look, and men, some women are abusive as well, and men have to know how to prepare themselves to have an exit plan for that. And
Exactly.
that's even tougher with the guy, I think, because if he's trying to explain to people this woman is beating me and he's a guy, so it's tough. But yeah, I think that this really kind of strikes a conversation that when you're dating someone and you're trying to commit, you really need to look and study up on some mental disorders, mental health. See if they have any addictions, see if they have any problems with anger, jealousy, just like you're talking. So my question is, were they charming starting out? What was it like when you with the first one that lasted so long for 6 years? Was he a charmer? Was
He was
he?
a charmer. Spoiled me because I love shopping. I was able to go shopping every single day. I did what I wanted except for when he was in the music industry. So when it was time to go in the studio and I had to be around them, it was like the heavens opened up, but not in a good way. Oh, go home. You're looking at da 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 da. And all I did was, look down, and I'm like, why are you doing this, Gina? You know,
Wow.
but it doesn't even have to be an addiction to anything. Look at how they treat their mom. And that saying goes way back. You can judge a man by how he treats his mother. That's so true. It's so
Yeah.
true. You have to look at that early. Don't look at it after you get in a relationship. Find
Wow.
out how they treat their mother and their sister, and early on in the
Yeah.
relationship, because those signs are going to come up, and they're going to treat you the same way, and it's not good. They might not was able to touch their mom or their sister, but they're going to do it to you.
My thing is, I think women have to make boundaries. They have to draw the line
Yeah,
and say, I am worth more than this. And if
yeah.
that means that I have to be single, then to put up with foolishness, I'll be single. And I think that's
10
it.
years, and I'm okay with it. I
Yeah.
said, God, you got to drop him from heaven because I'm not doing this myself anymore.
Yeah.
You
Well,
have to protect yourself, though.
wow. So this has been incredible. So when did it hit you? Like, okay, I've got to, I've got to write a book about this. What what did that for you?
When it hit me that I had to write a book about it was God woke me up at 3 a.m. and he showed me every relationship.
Hmm.
And it was 3 hours long. And I cried for 3 hours straight. And with that and seeing those relationships that I literally had put out of my mind and never wanted to remember again because they were so bad, I'm like, God, I'm laying there crying, God, why are you doing this? Why? And he said, because you have a voice and it's time for your voice to be heard. You have to help women that are going through what you went through. And this is why I put you through it. And I said, I don't want to. I'm embarrassed. I don't want people to know that I allowed this to happen to me. And he said, I got you. And when he said, I got you, I went to church one day and I was telling one of the elders, I want to write a book. And he said, what's stopping you? You embarrassed? And I said, yes, sir. He said, so start from the end and work your way to the beginning. And I said, okay. And here I am. I put
That's
it
so
all out
powerful.
there. The only unfortunate thing is I wasn't able to put everything in detail like I wanted to in the book, but it was a starter. And
Right.
I know that from what God is saying is you didn't need it all in that book because you're going to be an advocate and you're going to do speaking engagements and you're going to share with women
Beautiful.
around the world.
Beautiful. Yes. And, if you guys are just joining, welcome to the Real Talk Show. I am Dr. India White, and I'm here with this amazing overcomer, Regina Kenan, who is an entrepreneur, author. She's a speaker, and she's a survivor. And so she has just produced a phenomenal book anthology, Breaking the Code of Silence. And so congratulations to you. And I'm honored as well to be a part of your book anthology. Thank you. And so talk to us a little bit about this and the exciting things you've got cooking with this and maybe some of the stories in it or what those that are reading can get out of this book anthology.
Just how women are finally able to open up. finally able to share their voice and tell what they experienced and how they felt in their experiences, because these stories are not for us. As they say,
Yeah.
what our testimony is not for us, our testimony is for someone else. It's to bless somebody else, it's to heal somebody else. And that's what these stories are about. Stories for other women to read and see. You're not alone. We are not alone. And that is one reason why. And, I was listening to what's her name? Leandra Johnson. I just went through this 3 month thing of listening to her music. And one day I'm standing in the mirror and God said, "Survivor. I am a survivor." And he woke me up one night and said, he loves 3 o'clock a.m. And he said, "Sound the alarm." So I started my Sound the Alarm network. And that's what this
Powerful.
is about. It's time for us to step up and take our crowns, because they've been on the shelf for too long.
Yeah.
And that's what these stories are about. Women, stand up and take your crown. Read these, read all the stories in this book and see how women have overcome. See what we go through just for love. You
Yeah.
know, we tend to act like God's love is not enough, but it's enough. That's why I said, Lord, when you ready for me to have that my Boaz, just drop him from heaven. I will catch him, because enough is enough. Don't be ashamed. Don't don't badmouth yourself. That's what I want y'all to
That's
understand.
so good.
Don't badmouth yourself. Don't make yourself feel bad. I did that enough, and God had to literally come visit me. And when I tell you, I seen him ascend up into heaven, because he had to come down and let me know, my daughter, I forgave you. Let it go. It's okay. You're in my arms, and I'm not going to let go of you. And that's what I want y'all
Yeah.
to know. God got you in his hands. He's not going to let you go. Do not worry about that man. Move on. Walk away. If you have to do like I did, back up. Back your way out that door. Just get out. First sign you see of jealousy, of aggression, get out. And these stories is going to tell you over and over and over again how to do it. And once you read that book, bless somebody else. Pass it forward. Give it to another young lady. Let her read it, because these survivor stories is going to save a lot of lives. And it's time for us to step up right now, hold each other's hand, and let's walk. Let
Yeah.
us walk together and go get our crown.
And I want to say thank you again for providing this platform, because you mentioned something about how two things you mentioned. One, you mentioned how hard it is to be a voice and say something about what you've been through and to put it in writing for others, because you do feel embarrassed. And unfortunately, I know what that is like. I really hid behind some of the things I went through. I had family members that didn't know anything, because I was afraid, and I was ashamed. And especially, why would you allow someone to do that to you? And then we paint this image of, oh, I'm so happy and I'm so put together. And it's like, there are other things going on. And then you just have to reach that breaking point, like you said, where you knew, like, you're either going to get out of this alive or you're not going to get out of this. You will die in Jesus' name.
Yeah.
And I think that, especially women in ministry, they're all about protecting that man of God and all this. But if the man of God has a spirit, and different things bothering him, he needs to get some help. And I think sometimes we think we can just pray it all away. Sometimes you just have to check into a place and get a counselor. Sometimes you have to separate and work some kinks out in the natural, and so um were there how did that work out for you when you realized, okay, I can only fast and pray so much. Now I need to, you talked about God visiting you. So how did all those pieces kind of cook together for your stories?
I realized that, all the praying that I did, because I remember my daughter was in the room one night sleep, and we were in the living room, and he grabbed my arm and tried to break it. And
Oh my
I
word.
begged God to I said, Lord, just take my life right now, because I can't go through this again. I don't want to do this no more, you know. And I begged him, just take my life. And he
Yeah.
said, no, this ain't what's going to kill you. And I thought back to all the things that had went through. And I said, okay, the word says, pray without ceasing. And God will help you, but you got to help you too. If you don't help yourself
Mm.
out of something, what is he supposed to do? You tie his hands. He can't do it alone. You got to be willing to do it. And that's when I realized, okay, you know what? He's right. And after I got out of it, the one thing I remember my pastor saying, I felt some type of way, but then I understood. He said, as much as I taught you, as much as Bishop
Wow.
has taught you, you didn't know no better. Why would you let yourself go through that again? And I was like, he said, what did you want to get married? And I was like, no. I thought he loved me. Love don't come in 3 months. Real love don't come in 3 months.
Mm.
It does not. I don't care what nobody say. First love, love at first sight, whatever you want to call it. That's infatuation. you know, I felt like I was looking for a safe place and so, a father, not a father per se, but someone that's going to shelter you and be there for you and tell you the things. You know what I'm saying? Like it comes to some women that I've talked to because they didn't have their dad around or they didn't have a male figure in their lives. It's a lot
Mhm.
of things, but you can't just think that prayer is the only thing that's going to help you. It's not. And God had to tell me that it's just not going to help. If you don't help you, how can I help you? The Bible
Mm.
says the man that won't work will not eat.
Right.
And it goes for women too. If you don't work, you're not going to eat. If you don't help yourself, how God going to help you? What
Right.
everybody tend to say is, I'm waiting on God. No, you're not. God is waiting on us. And it's the same
Right.
thing. He's waiting for us to say enough is enough. Okay, Lord, I submit myself to you 100%. And that's what I did. And when I tell you, when I say, God, I submit myself to you 100%, the heavens opened up because he said, now my child is tired and she's ready to give it to me. Because he
Right.
said, cast your cares on me because I care for you. And that he meant it. So
Yeah.
we really gotta help him help us. He can't do
Wow.
it alone. Can't do it alone.
That's excellent. And so tell us, since you've overcome these hardships, and I am so sorry, I cannot imagine what you had to go through in those years of torment. I just don't get what makes someone, male or woman, feel like they have the right to violate someone else by beating the fire out of them. Like, what goes off in their mind that says, okay, today's a good day to just knock the fire out of you? Like, what goes? I don't get that. Like, normal people live civilized lives,
Yes.
and you celebrate others. If my thing is, I would think that if you're in a relationship, you're working together as a team to build an empire, to be rock stars, to like take over. You know what I mean? Like, who has time to beat someone down and pull someone down? Like, I just don't get that. So I don't know. I can't imagine what you went through, and I know you probably had those same thoughts.
Yeah.
Like, what happened upstairs? Like you said, they're sick.
Yeah. It actually, to be very transparent and honest, it started at age 16. And that's why I
Mm.
say it was a pattern, an unfortunate pattern. I find that when we watch our parents go through it, we go through it because
Wow.
we think it's okay. And I had to get my mind right in order to come out of it. Because if I had not, because and I knew that woman walking up to my car and that lady stopping me on the highway that didn't know me from Adam or Eve, God sends you signs. He does. He sent me a sign with this last one. He did. I just ignored it because I was like, no.
Wow.
We ignore God. We do. And
Wow.
that's why I said, Lord, I have learned to listen to you, sir. And like I said, I let that one come to Buffalo. Oh, I got the worst spanking. Ooh, my God. I went to work that day and messed up everything.
Wow.
And I sat at my desk and I threw my head. I said, okay, God, I understand. I said, I understand. I just, I said, I hear you. And I walked away from work. I was like, I gotta go. I don't feel good, because some spankings are the worst. But he do allow us, that saying that your grandmother used to say, "I'm gonna give you enough rope to hang yourself." God
Hmm.
gives us enough rope to hang ourselves, because He's like, I'm here for you. I told you I'd never leave you nor forsake you. I'll be there with you always until the end of the earth. But you have to allow God to do what He said He's gonna do, because He's not a
Right.
baby, He shall lie.
Right.
And these stories in this book it's just, they're blessings, tragic
Mhm.
blessings. I'll call them tragic blessings, because they're going to bless somebody else. And it's
Yeah.
unfortunate that we have to go through things, for some other people, but God wants us to be that voice. And that's why that sound the alarm. I'm telling you, I'm so excited, and I'm just praying that God will just bless so many women, to be delivered on that day, October 15th or 17th in Atlanta, Georgia. And
Yeah.
it's just going to be awesome, because women are waiting for another woman to come to them and let
Yes.
them know it's okay. I went through this. You don't have to be afraid or embarrassed. And unfortunately, I didn't have any family support, and I didn't tell anybody. And when you don't have support, that's why I said you have to have a safe haven. That safe haven it can even be your child. Tell somebody to let somebody tell somebody,
Wow.
it can
Hmm.
save your life. And
Beautiful. Wow.
man,
And we need to talk about this because you have the Me Too movement and
yep,
women are starting to get it, and men unfortunately are starting to get the hang of this. Like, this isn't right. This isn't acceptable. And I need to say something about it. And a bishop of mine, he says, you only you only accept what you're willing to tolerate. Like,
yep,
once
that's
you
what
get
Bishop
sick and
says.
tired of something, you're going to say something or do something about it. But
Hmm.
as long as you accept it, you're going to tolerate it. You're not going to fight it. You're just going to
Yeah,
keep going through it. And so I think it's beautiful that you're having the Sound the Alarm Summit. Now, you said it's October
October
15th.
15th through the 17th, I think that's
Okay, October 15th through the
Atlanta.
17th
Yep,
in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm planning on being there.
yes, yes. I want you to be one of my speakers too, because yes,
Yes. Yes. Put me down. This is great. Okay. In Atlanta, I'm just writing it down so that everybody can see this.
I'm a strong believer in "Am I my brother's keeper?" You know,
Yes.
we have to be there for one another. We have to.
So, technical difficulties.
Okay.
Happy New Year. So, you were talking about the summit,
Hmm.
and then my computer was wonderful. So, it's going to be October 15th through the 17th, guys, in Atlanta, Georgia. And I guess you're going to get more details as we go through, right? As far as where it's going to be located and everything.
Well, it's
Um,
going to be in Marietta, Georgia.
okay, Marietta,
Yeah,
Georgia.
but I'm going to
Wonderful.
fly out there shortly. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Yes, definitely. I'm here to support that 150%. And I wanted to also talk about some of the works that you've done since you've been a survivor. So tell us a little bit about. I know you said you've got a publishing company.
Yes. Yes.
Talk to us
Yeah.
about this. Congratulations.
Thank you. And that was actually inspired by my baby boy, which is
Oh,
unfortunately
really?
incarcerated. But he said, "Ma, he said, there's so many stories in here." He's like, "I'm going to write a book." He said, "We have to start a publishing company." I'm like, "Yeah, I thought about it." I said, "But that's a lot of money, a lot of work." He said, "Now, Mom, you keep writing books, so you may as well be a publisher." So I was like, "Okay, all right, let's do it." And he came up with the name. And I know people tend to shy away from publishers because they cheat them so bad, and that's unfortunate. I want to be the one that people can come to and say,
That's
this
good.
is honest Abe. I know she's not going to cheat us. I just I'm that person. God just created me to be that person to just help people. I
Yeah.
actually, one of the ladies that is in the new coming book, um, A Mother's Love, raising a kid in the pandemic, she told me her story yesterday and it just touched my heart. And I was like, she was like, well, I can't pay the money right now. I got this going on, that going on. And when I finished hearing her story, I was like, you know what, God, you work it out. I said, just write your story. I got you. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
I just
Beautiful.
I just have to be the one, I just like blessing people. And that's
Yeah.
why I'm so excited about this because just telling your story is blessing somebody.
Yes, it is.
It it's gonna people when people write their stories and not about being a painter, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And not shining nobody, but just stories are able to help people overcome what they are going through and have not been able to say, come out of the closet per se and say, I went through this and I need deliverance. I need help.
Yeah.
So this is my safe haven,
Hmm.
heart to heart connections and sound the alarm. They're a safe haven for people to come because my dream is to
Wow.
start a domestic violence shelter where I can get
Beautiful.
women back to where they came from before that happened.
Yeah.
Um,
Get them
like
restored. I
a
love that.
rehab. Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful. And I wish you the best on that.
Thank
And I like how you mentioned with the safe haven and you said something. You said it's okay to admit that you need deliverance. Because especially in our society, we put together such a pretty face, and even when we go through things, it's like, oh no, I'm good. I'm fine. Oh no, no. Everything's great. I say, no, honey, it's okay. You need to cry. You need to let that out. You need to let that go. And it's beautiful to have someone like yourself that has raised up to help other women. So thank you. And talk to us about some of your other works. I know you said you're into multi-level marketing and some other things. I'm so happy with your success and how you have blossomed since you had to go through that foolishness and now you've evolved. And so I love celebrating that because
thank
it's
you.
like there's power in the bouncing back and the comeback. And
Yeah,
it seems like for some reason these people that come into our lives and they try to shut you down and they try to silence you and take everything from you, it's like for some reason after you pull from that you just go like you soar
yes.
like never before. So I want to hear more about you and what you've accomplished. So talk to us about the multi-level marketing. How did you get involved in that? What's the name of the organization and all that, just in case someone's interested in.
Okay. I've done multiple. I mean, I've done Mary Kay. I've done Total Life Changes, which is my last multi-level marketing company that I was with. Now I'm with a new one called Tava. It's because I'm so big on health and wellness. I get with this, I'm with this company now called Tava, and it's the same concept. We have detox products to help you detox your body because what we don't realize is we put garbage in our bodies every single day.
Yes.
And if we
Yes.
don't get it out, because you can get it out by detoxing without having a colonic, what I'm saying,
Yeah.
colonoscopy.
Yeah.
But what I do when I'm looking for a company is I look at their mission and what it is they really want, people to get out of it. And both companies are good. The last one was really good. And I also, you know, just being able to share with people how they can help themselves, by putting the right things in their body. Like when I tell you, when Rance Allen passed away, it hurt me so bad because I
Mm.
never met the man, but I used to pray for this man all the time because I would look at his size and I'm like, please do something before you get diabetes. I don't want you to die. And it hurt me so bad when I found out about it. My brother's like, it's okay, Gina. God got him. I'm like, but you just don't know. I just like for people to be healthy and strong, and just I like to encourage people to strive to do better, with their health and their wellness and their finances, because I get involved with these companies to help other people become financially free, and that's my mission, help people become financially free.
Yeah.
By 2022, my goal is to have helped 100 families to become financially free. And I know as
Beautiful.
long as I stay consistent and persistent, God is going to allow me to do it. I got to do my
Right.
part, and that's what I focus on. I'm also with a company called Damsel in Defense. That one is very passionate to me because it's self-defense products, like tasers
Oh,
and pepper sprays and stuff like
wow.
that. That came from the owners being in domestic violence relationship.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's why they started it, and it's just a way for women to protect themselves, because we walk outside and you never know, what we went through with all the kidnapping and the
Mhm.
trafficking and stuff. It's not safe to go out without something to protect yourself. And their mission is just so powerful.
That's
And
beautiful.
my earring, and I'm sorry. The mission is so powerful, and that's why I try to do things where I can really help women, because I know that's my mission. I know that's what God called me to do. I
Hmm.
knew it when I was a kid, that my mission in life was to help as many women as I could to better
Hmm.
themselves, to empower, encourage, and educate. And that's the mission I'm on. And if I have to do it through my network marketing companies, to help them to start a business, because there's no more, and I posted today, there's no more business as usual. There's no more normal
Right.
job. You need to have security. They're taking this, your pensions and your social security and stuff. They're trying to do away with that. Have something to fall back on. If you don't, you're gonna be in the poorhouse. You know what I'm saying? So my mission is to help people and educate them as to how important it is to have a backup plan. You got to have a backup plan, because look what we just went through in 2020. People didn't
Yeah.
know they was going to have to go on unemployment all those months. So you can't put all your eggs in one basket. My grandmother always taught me that, and my dad, my dad would always say, "Oh, you can't take wooden nickels," and I never understood what that was until I got into network marketing, and realizing that a job is not security. And that's what one of the things with this house that I want to build for women. I want them to see that a job is not going to secure you nor your family. It helps. It helps you to start your business, but it's not going to take you where you want to go, because there's no limitations on having your own business. A job is going to limit you because they're going to give you what you what they want to give you every hour, and they're going to give you how many hours a week they want. No, I want to educate them to know there is something outside of the box, and don't keep running around a mulberry bush. You have to branch out and make your life better. That's why I said God help those that help themselves. If he see you're complacent and comfortable in a relationship, he gonna let you stay there. If that's what you want to
Mhm.
do. If you don't want to listen, I had my oldest son's father. We wanted to get back together. He came back in my life after 30 years, but I wanted to be with him, but he's complacent. I can't do complacency. I won't settle anymore, because God said we
Yeah.
don't have to settle. And everybody that's listening to this right now, do not settle, because you don't have to. You don't have to settle for less than. God
Right.
wants you to ask him for more. Stop praying for those small, those small prayers. Ask God for bigger.
Wow.
I want an infinity
That's
truck.
good.
I'm praying for an infinity truck because God said I can have it.
They
And
are
I
nice.
just, I just, hey, I'm just a giver, and I just like giving and helping people, in whatever I do. I do t-shirts. I make t-shirts, and it's so much. I'm a fashion designer. I went to fashion design school in New York City, graduated. I tell in my book, I got through fashion design school in a domestic violence relationship, but God gave me my degree. I earned it. I went to school some days hurting, and nobody knew what was going on.
Wow.
But, we hide behind a facade. It's time to take off the mask. It's time to take off the mask. And I might do a book called Unmask Yourself, something. I don't know.
Beautiful.
It's just, hey.
Beautiful. And I'm so proud of you and for all that you've accomplished and getting your degree and having
Yeah.
all of your businesses. Now, how do you find the energy to do all of this stuff? Because you've got so much resilience to you. And I know the average lady is like, huh? Like you have this going on, and this going on. And, I mean, you're an eagle. So how do you find the energy to do all of these things?
It's a mindset thing. I've been homeless before. And it says, do you want to be sleeping in the car again with your kids,
Mm,
with your grandkids? No, I don't. So I
yeah.
make myself have energy. Although these two grandkids keep me energized also. But
How
just
old are
knowing
they?
I don't want to go backwards
Yeah.
gives me all the energy that I need. Like I was up till 5 a.m. the other night trying to get, do things. I have so many projects, and I have two speaking engagements next month on the 17th, and I want more. I want to be a millionaire by the end of this year. And when I leave this earth, I want my grandkids and my kids to be okay.
Yeah.
I don't want them to have to want for anything.
Hmm.
I didn't have to want for anything. My parents gave me everything but a panther and a motorcycle. They said the motorcycle was too dangerous, and I was crazy asking for a Black Panther. So I just want them, I want financial security. And, you know, I'm teaching my grandson, my 6-year-old, and my granddaughter, be an entrepreneur, you know.
Yeah.
And that little boy in there is so hyped about it. I just started him with his own little painting, doing art with I call it candy paint, but that's not what it's called, So
Yeah.
I told him, you can sell this. I got into a company where we buy gold. And I said, baby, we have gold. When it came in the mail, I'm like, look, we got our gold. And he was so excited. And I think I got my entrepreneurship from my dad, actually, because he has his own business. You
Hmm.
should teach your kids early.
Yeah.
My daughter hasn't received it yet, but my sons have, and that right there is enough to make me stay energized and motivated to know that, one, my 6-year-old grandson wants his own business. Two, my 12-year-old granddaughter wants her own business. They get it from me, and I get it from my dad. And I want it to continue. The little
Yeah.
the little 1-year-old, he's gonna be doing the same thing. And it's just it gives me air to breathe when I wake up in the morning, knowing that I can make a difference in somebody's life, theirs and women.
Beautiful.
And I mentor and I coach
Beautiful.
women.
Hmm.
That motivates me. That motivates. Just being able to help somebody motivates me.
Yeah.
My dad used to tell me all the time, you can't save everybody. I said, but I can try, you know. And that was like at 15. I'm like, I can try. So yeah, that's where I get my energy from. As crazy as it might sound. Just knowing that when I wake up, I can bless somebody else.
That's beautiful. I'm so happy that you have survived and now you're thriving. You're doing so many wonderful things, impacting the future generation, other women like yourself that just needed someone to care enough to stop by and say, hey, I'm here. So, again, thank you. I appreciate your ministry. We appreciate your ministry
Yeah.
and what you bring to the table. And so, Regina, I know someone here is probably going to want to keep in touch with you. So, how can we get in contact with you?
I'm on all social media platforms under Regina Kenan dash Lady Lioness. You put in Lady Lioness, I'm probably gonna pop up. You can reach me that way, or if they need to email me, ladylioness2010@gmail.com. That's how you can find me. I'm all over social media. I'm learning to stay consistent on there now. So I got on Clubhouse, and since I've been on Clubhouse, my Instagram is like over flooding at night. I'm hearing them like, okay, I'm trying to try, you know. So yeah, but that's how they can find me. I'm that one that just, I'm there. I don't sleep much. I get 2, 3 good hours, and I'm okay. You know,
Wow,
I'm
that's
okay.
powerful.
I'm the one. I tell people you can call me 24 hours a day if you need me to run out the door. I'm out there. I used to be a missionary, and I'm used to
Wow.
jumping up, running to go and minister to people, women going through. So
Was it here in the United States or was
I was
it
here in Buffalo. Yeah.
in Buffalo?
So
Wow.
when I was a kid, I always used to say, God, I want to be one of those ladies to wear those white dresses. I want to minister and evangelize
Yeah.
around the world. That's what I want to do. I want to go on missions and just minister to God's people. That's my passion.
That's
That's
so
what I'm looking forward to
beautiful.
doing soon.
Yes, and it's like you've got so many great different projects cooking here. So you want to do missions, you've got your MLMs going, you've got your publishing company, you're raising your grandkids that have businesses. It's like you wear so many different hats, and you have so much to be proud about. And if you could leave us with, maybe something, maybe a big takeaway that you've learned from life that could really inspire some other women and entrepreneurs out there, what would it be?
Whatever your dream is, go for it. Don't give up on it. My dream as a child, I started modeling when I was 3 years old, but I felt like I was under my mom's shadow. Never let your dream die. I was passionate about it, don't get me wrong,
Wow.
but
Mm.
you know, if it's something that you desire to do, do it, because you know the richest place in the world is a graveyard. Don't take your dreams to the graveyard.
Oh my word.
Do it right here on
Woo.
earth. Don't give up on it. Even if it's something you feel like you can't accomplish. Hey, look up. Look
Yeah,
up. And he
that's
will
so
hear you.
powerful.
God hears everything you're saying. He hears your thoughts before you even think them. He knows everything. Just continue to thrive, to be better. Don't don't get caught up in what's going on in the world right now, because it will consume you. And this is
Woo.
one reason why I don't watch the news, because
Yes.
I don't want to be consumed. And because it'll get crazy, it'll get discouraging, and it'll start to you'll start to say, well, I guess I can't do it. Well, this is happening. No, yes, you can.
Mm.
Anything you ask God for and stay consistent and pray and be diligent and consistent, He'll do it. It might not come when you want it to, but trust me, it always come right on time, because I
Yeah.
did not plan to be a funeral planner, but my girlfriend passed away last January. Wow, coming up on the anniversary. And after that, her husband or mother, nobody wanted to do the funeral. God said, "This
Mm.
is what I want you to do," and I was like, you know. But
Wow.
my girlfriend said, when God tell you to do something, you have to do it. She said,
Oh,
"You're so passionate about making sure your girlfriend's funeral was perfect. This is something I believe you'd be successful in." And I was like, okay, and because I'm so passionate about helping people, God ushered me in, and I started at Kenan's Funeral Planning Services Incorporated.
wow.
And I told people I'm not doing this to capitalize on the pandemic. I'm doing this to help people, because I understand people don't always want to plan or have the strength to plan their loved one's funeral. Maybe this is something that he wanted me to do back in the past and I just didn't know.
Yeah.
But I realized that dreams do come true, no matter what it is. If you have a business in mind, research it, see what you need to do. Matter of fact, if you have a business and you need an LLC, I do that too. I do that too. I do legals here. We do LLCs for 145, but yeah, just stay consistent, with whatever it is that you really want to do. Don't give up. Don't give up
Yeah.
on your dreams, because God got you. He has you. And he don't want you to take those dreams to the graveyard. He gave them to you, those visions. He gave them to you for a reason. Just know, if he gave it to you, he is going to give you what you need to pursue it. And that's how I feel. And I tell myself, when I start thinking about some of my businesses, I'm like, well, God, how am I get the money? It's like the publishing company. God had a ram in the bush. He had a blessing, you know. So now I'm a publisher. So
Yay.
don't give up. Don't give up. God has your back. Just
That's
stay consistent and let
beautiful.
him know that this is what you want to do and that you're going to be passionate about doing it.
This is very beautiful advice. And thank you so much, Regina, again, for sharing your nuggets of wisdom, sharing your testimony of what you've been through, and even your desire of how you want to pay it forward. And I hope that people will reach out to you at Regina Kenan on Facebook, social media across the board, guys, Lady Lioness, and on Clubhouse as well. So definitely tap in here. Regina, thank you so much
Thank you
for
for
just
having
being
me,
so
India.
elegant and beautiful and powerful. I will definitely be in touch with you. I appreciate you being a part of my tribe as well. And the best is yet to come for you. And I wish you nothing but the best. And thank you guys so much for joining the Real Talk Show with Dr. India White. I hope you've enjoyed this segment today. We will be sharing this out. And this also, again, will be playing on SoulNet Radio, www.soulnetwkdh.com, Monday through Fridays from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you check out the replay of this as well. And I will keep you informed of the other platforms that are coming as well. So with that said, you guys have a phenomenal night. Take care, Regina.
Thank you, India. Love
You're
you.
welcome.
All
No,
right.
you too. Bye, guys.
Bye.